Good morning. My name is Amy Gill, your pharmacist that cares. So, I've been hearing from you guys that you really are enjoying the interviews and the people that I am bringing on, and they're bringing value to you, and you're learning a lot from these. So, today I have a special treat. You guys are going to think this is a little bit different from mine, but I'm going to tell you exactly how it ties in. So, today we have Noel Buckingham with Buckingham Pest Control. And you think, Amy, how does pest control tie into health and wellness? Well, obviously it does, you guys. You need to take care of those little critters because if they're getting in your house, there's going to be issues with your health and wellness and exactly what they're leaving behind. So I thought this is a perfect interview today, a little bit different, but Noel is he's such an interesting guy. He is so knowledgeable and his business has been around for 30 years now. So he knows a lot. He's seen a lot and he definitely has a lot to share with us. So thanks for joining us, Noel.
Thanks, Amy. I am quite the character, so
You are, and you are known as the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Is that right?
yes, ma'am. I may have dubbed myself that, but yeah, that's what
But
I go by.
that's what everybody knows you as. So
Correct.
30 years in the business, you have seen a lot and you've grown a lot over these 30 years. So kind of tell us, how you got started in pest control and just a little bit about your company.
Oh, the quick version. Back in the day, I worked in restaurant management and a lot of turnover, a lot of double shifts because people are calling in sick. And my ex-wife's parents owned a construction company, so I got called in to do another double shift. 7 days in a row, and the ex-wife and her parents just kicked around. What subcontractors are we not loyal to? And their I don't remember construction company, and they came up with pest control. So I did the research. I had to work for 2 years for other companies. Worked for Orkin for a year. Worked for a small Jefferson County company for a year. Kind of learned the best of both worlds, big and small, and then turned that into my own thing back in 1994. So, like you said, 30 years.
That is amazing. And really, pest control has a lot to do with your health and wellness. We've got your website popping up here. You see the little babies crawling on the ground, but that's exactly it, right? We get on the ground with them too. We don't want bugs and all the nasty stuff they leave behind. And that's why it's so important. As a mom and as a homeowner, when we got to know you, I'm like, we have to go with Noel. We have to go with Buckingham Pest Control because he has the integrity. He has the knowledge. He's not just one of those big, kind of like those big box stores, right? But those big companies that you feel like just a number. And with Buckingham, you don't. When the girls call me in to schedule my next appointment, you have a little conversation with them, and it's very refreshing to be more than a number, especially in today's society. So I think you've done a fantastic job with that. So talk a little bit about, what it's like. What do you, when you come to somebody's house, what are you guys looking for? What is really your big thing that you want to stand, that makes you stand out?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for the kind words. That was very nice. I'll checks in the mail. Uh, what do we look for? We always want to do the right thing. Maybe today is the perfect time to talk because we're in St. Louis and it's getting ready to rain. So we do a service similar to a lot of companies, but I call it customer first. So when the rain gets ready to start this afternoon, we're going to be off. We are actually going to stop work because you cannot really spray the exterior in the rain. I know a lot of the other companies, competitors, pull out the granules. Oh, yeah, we can put the granules out and do that because they have to be water activated. Except in this industry, it's called label is the law. We actually have to follow the label to the letter, or we are actually breaking the law. We could actually be fined. Obviously, if it's serious enough, we could be jailed. But it is technically illegal to put out granules in the rain. If you actually read the label, which is A, why we don't do it, and we don't want to alter what I consider to be the best pest control program in town by, oh, let's just make sure we can still work when it's raining, even though we're not supposed to do what we do. We will actually pause work, take the afternoon off so we can do the right thing for the customer tomorrow. That's how I look at it.
See, that's exactly what I'm talking about, integrity, because you're not looking just to keep your people busy, but you're looking at the value that you provide to your customers. And that's why everybody talks about you. That's why you have so many five-star reviews, because you guys go that extra mile. You make sure that things are done right. Now, one thing that we have done at our house, besides, like I said, of course, having you for our pest control, we now have you for attic insulation. People are like, wait a second, what? He does that too? So, how in the world did you get into the attic insulation from pest control?
I wish I would have done it sooner. So, full disclosure, we've been doing attic insulation for a little over a year now, even though we've been in business for 30. It was kind of a natural tie on, and I wish I had done it sooner. But fairly big investment with vehicles and equipment and all that stuff. But the tie-in is when we're doing rodent control, wildlife control, we're very oftentimes up in attics, and we run into piles of bat guano, piles of bird feces and straw, nesting materials. The squirrels get up there, leave their acorns, do everything. Plus, just every animal is going to use your attic as the latrine. Uh, they're gonna drop and go right where they are. So, like the very first attic installation we did last year, the flex, I guess you call it the flex duct, coming off of the bathroom vents, had so many holes and so many where the mice were going in and out. The drywall underneath it, you could tell was water. Let's say liquid damaged. It wasn't water, liquid damaged. And when I kind of lifted up that duct where it vents out to the outside, it actually sounded like a maraca. All the mouse feces in that was literally shaking, and I could have put music to it and did a dance. It was so bad. So we corrected all that, sucked out all the old insulation, sanitized the attic. We actually have the equipment to sanitize everything and then blow fresh back in. And there is actually, we offer regular cellulose, so there's actually a product called TAP, which stands for Thermal, Acoustical, and Pest Control, which has to be installed by a licensed pest control company, but it's more efficiently treated to actually take care of bugs in the attic too. So it's a win-win for the homeowner. It's not that much more, but it does a better job at killing the bugs. Wasps, brown recluse, stink bugs, whatever makes it up there will get into it and die.
Now, to me, that really ties in with the health and wellness because if you have all these droppings up there, what's going to happen? That's going to filter down into where you live, right? Into your living space. And, I listened to a presentation you did and I'm like, oh my gosh, I know what it's like upstairs in the boys' room and the temperature is not the same. So I'm like, we cannot have enough insulation. It's not possible. So, you guys came out, you checked it out. And when I came from the attic, it's just that little door you get in, and he had a look on his face. I said, oh no, what'd you find? You could just see that look like, how am I going to tell her everything I found, and of course he, said, well, you only have a couple inches. And you said you need, is it 15 inches?
Yeah, recommended. It's called R49 to R60 is what the EPA recommends in our latitude, I guess would be the right way to put that. We kind of go, R49, St. Louis is not getting as cold as it did 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. I'm old enough to remember. Heard my grandma talk about, the Mississippi freezing over. They could take the beer trucks over on the across the river. Not getting like that anymore. So we recommend R49. We've had a few customers go to the R60, which is more like 18 inches, but typically 15. I always ask people, when is the last time you looked in your attic? And the answer is always never. I've never been up in my attic. Went to a customer's house yesterday. They actually had like bags of clothes, creepy dolls, all kinds of stuff that I pulled out of the attic for them while I was there. But a 2x4, which is what a lot of the trusses are made out of nowadays, are probably technically 3.5 inches, I think is what a 2x4 is. And most homes, including mine, when I did mine, the trusses are luckily barely covered, if at all. There are spots in this attic yesterday that didn't have any insulation, and gave them a proposal, and I'm sure they're going to do it. But 15 inches, it's going to help with evening out the temperature in the house, and it's going to save on the utility bills, which is a no-brainer nowadays.
Well, he came down and he showed me all the pictures, and yes, you could definitely see the wood showing. So we only had those couple inches, but then he showed me, and that's what I really like, that he took all these pictures, not only to show you guys and figure out what all needed to be done, but to show me as well. And he showed me some other pictures. I said, "What is that?" Because it was just like dark, and I'm like, "What is this?" He goes, well, those are bat droppings and probably from mice and all these different things. I'm like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. I mean, I know we have a lot of bats around here as my house backs up to woods. At night, we know when you come in, make sure the door is shut because the bats are flying around. And you definitely don't want one in your house. We have dealt with that before in Illinois, and it is a very scary thing. So as soon as he said that, I'm like, oh my gosh, we have to deal with this. And as he walked the house, then he came back and told me, showed me something else. These two squirrels that were trying to get up there as well. I'm like, oh my gosh, I hear that every once in a while when I'm in my son's closet. And I think something's trying to come through the ceiling. And I think it's these squirrels that were up there. So this was a huge thing for us to do this. And not only do I know the air we have around here now is healthy for us all to breathe, all that stuff has been sanitized and it's all gone. The temperature regulation upstairs has made a huge difference. And just in these few short months we've had it, I've noticed a difference in our heating bill. I mean, now that we'll now be starting to turn air conditioning before too long, but I noticed a huge difference with that. So I can't thank you guys enough. And the team was so professional, so fast, so friendly, so efficient, everything. I just cannot say enough about the way they did it. When you guys came, you used Been There, Dump That, which is a great dumpster service. They put these things out, the 2x4s out, so it doesn't hurt your driveway. I see so many dumpsters that are set on people's nice driveways and will ruin them. But that's right there. It did a great job, and you guys made sure everything was cleaned up. And it just took a couple days to do the entire attic. So I cannot thank you enough for what you guys did for us because it really make a huge difference. Kind of tell everybody like if they're interested in the attic installation, what do they need to do? Tell them kind of like about them coming out and doing the assessment.
Sure. Yeah. Obviously, I think Mandy's going to put website up, all that stuff. Our phone number. We're on Facebook, all social media. Easiest way is just call the office. 636-274-7400. Shameless plug. Talk to one of the gals, and they will send someone from our inspection team out. Typically, what we're checking for, we call it a healthy home inspection. We do a quick termite check while we're there. We talk to you about your actual pest control situation. If you're having any current issues, we walk the house around the exterior, try to notice any wildlife access points that you might not even be aware of. You'd be surprised how often here's a big giant piece of soffit missing, and animals can go right up. Then obviously we check out the attic insulation level. Like I said, super common. My house barely hit the top of the trusses, that 3.5, 4 inches, whatever it was. Uh, it's a no brainer. Everybody needs it, whether it's tap or cellulose. It's going to help with your utility bills. And Spire, we didn't mention this. Spire will actually pay for the project at 3% interest, which I remind everybody is currently less than the rate of inflation, and they'll finance it for up to 5 years and just add it to your utility bill. And like you said, every summer we actually two-story house. We actually put a fan blowing up the stairs to help assist because our upstairs would get so hot. So I did mine last fall. I cannot wait to see what the summer is going to bring because I know it's going to be a lot better.
I'm glad you said that about Spire. I had a little note. I was going to make sure and mention that because I know that
Mm-hmm.
was something that you mentioned before because that's important to people because it is an investment, but it's really an investment that everybody needs to do because it does make such a huge difference. And like you said, with them being able to finance at 3%, I mean you can't get anything like that. I mean that is absolutely amazing. So before we close out, is there anything else that you want everyone to know about Buckingham?
30 years, we service the entire St. Louis area. So that's one of the things I always put in because nobody knows, St. Louis City, St. Louis County, Jefferson County, St. Charles County, Eastern Franklin County. So think Union, Pacific, Washington, kind of that area. And we just expanded up into Troy and Moscow Mills because it's growing like wildfire now. So, but anything, everything, pest, termite, wildlife, seasonal mole and mosquito programs. Uh, we don't make people sign a service agreement, but I did develop some what I call them the bundle discount programs. So some of our more common things are pest control, rodent control, mosquito, the seasonal mosquito. So we got a couple packages where we can bundle that together, save everybody a little money. Those we do ask for a 12-month commitment because we're throwing a bunch of stuff in with a discount. But if you just want to try us out one time, there is no service agreement. We'll just call you in 90 days and say, hey, pest control works better as a maintenance type program where you do it quarterly. We can spray the exterior. Spraying the exterior heavily will knock down what's actually getting into the house. And obviously, we guarantee it. If you ever have a problem inside, we'll come out and take care of that. But we use the right products in the right places by the trained professionals, so we keep your family and your home healthy and safe.
I love that. No, we use you guys for pests. Obviously, we use you for attic and moles because that's a problem. Because the person next door uses somebody, then they're coming to my yard. So you guys definitely have been busy trying to get rid of the moles at my place. I think it's an ongoing thing, but definitely made a difference with our yard to do that. So I cannot thank you enough, and everyone, I cannot recommend Buckingham Pest Control enough. They are, like I said, so easy to work with. You see the owner right here, and I think that's what's really important too, is he's somebody that lives in this area. He's somebody that's accessible, and him and his wife do an amazing job running this company. So I definitely recommend you guys reaching out to them. Have them come check out your attic. You will definitely not regret it. Noel, thank you so much for being on this morning. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Amy. Thanks for the opportunity, and thank you for your business.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Amy Gill, your pharmacist that cares.